Right, Paul, we're going to have a look ahead to the upcoming PDC fixture list, and I had to write these all down because this is absolutely ridiculous what we've got coming up in the next six, 7 weeks. First of all, we've got the European Darts Grand Prix and the Dutch Masters, the next two mini majors, as we call them, on the horizon. I know you love the Euro Tour, so you must be excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to play in Sindelfingen, somewhere where I've made the final before in 2013, and I should have won that tournament. Damn you, Wes. Got another chance. Managed to sneak into the tournament, beating my good friend Steve West in the final of the qualifiers. I'd be interested to see how I get, and I was disappointed with my previous performance in Saarbrücken, not beating Benito van der Pas. So I've got an opportunity here to rectify that defeat by going into this event and seeing if I can go any further. But ever-present Sindelfingen, Glaspalast is an amazing venue, really well supported, and Stuttgart and the Sindelfingen crowd will not disappoint. What a brilliant place to play darts.
From there, we have the first World Series event in Germany. World Series is just getting bigger and bigger as well for darts.
Literally getting bigger and bigger. The fact that we're going to Gelsenkirchen at the Schalke Stadium to have potentially 20,000 people, Max Hopp, watch out. You may need to have some sort of spine-tingling transplant surgery here, because you might lose yourself with this crowd. This is going to be unbelievable. This may actually set the tone for things to come. World Series events may start gracing stadiums, a bit like wrestling events started going to big football stadiums in America.
Yeah.
Could we see Germany, Australia, China going to big stadiums like this? And how big can this possibly get? We will know after Gelsenkirchen.
From there, the World Cup of Darts. I know it's one event you love, fond memories, and the other way as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to what some of the pairings are going to be from this, because we still don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't. There are a lot of factors as to who's going to play with who. We know pretty much that Johnny Clayton's going to play with Gerwyn Price. Certain teams are an absolute shoo-in, but I like the World Cup very much similar to the World Championships. You get to see other players. You don't see the same people week in, week out. As great as that is, sometimes you get to see some other talent. And I'm fascinated by watching Paul Lim again with Harith Lim for Singapore, and some of the Scandinavian nations are starting to find a little bit of different talent, and I'm just fascinated to see Max Hopp in Frankfurt, to see what reception he gets from Martin Schindler.
I was about to say the German pair could go under the radar here, because Martin Schindler's playing well, and we've already spoken about what Max Hopp's done. So they could be a massive dark horse if they're on the other side to the Dutch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they get on. Martin Schindler this past weekend had a really good tournament because he's been struggling, but maybe he's having a bit of the Max Hopp effect, very much like Max Hopp and Johnny Clayton had a bit of the Mickey Mansell effect.
Yeah.
I did blame Mickey Mansell for that at the weekend though, so it's all his fault, Mickey. But other nations as well, I'm fascinated by the Americans, the Canadians, because John Part's going to be playing. Australia, be good to see how they get on. Because they had a disappointing time last year. I'm really excited to watch Boris Koltsov again, who I'm a big fan of. He is the one who could propel Russian darts into another dimension. If he gets the right partner in the next couple of years, we could be looking at a very dangerous team.
The one I always like looking at Scotland, but for the wrong reasons at the moment, because they're on their day, they're both amazing players, 2 and 3 in the world, but they just doesn't happen.
No, there's no real cohesion.
No.
In a funny sort of sick way, because I know I'm not going to be playing. I'm almost hoping that one of them gets sick, so I can see Hendo in a Scotland shirt. Because Hendo's number 3 now. He's taken over from Robert, and I know how passionate John is for Scotland. I just think it'd be great to watch him play a World Cup for his nation with either Peter or Gary. But no, there's no cohesion between Gary and Peter. But you never know. Sometimes things just work out. If they can fix this, if they can do something together, they can win it.
Without question.
Yeah, but who's going to stop the Dutch?
On paper, the Scottish pair can, and they're probably the nearest ones to them, but we'll see.
Yeah, time will tell.
From the World Cup, we've got another 2 Euro Tour events. We go to Gibraltar, and we spoke about earlier, going to Copenhagen in Denmark for the first time, though. I'm looking forward to that.
Polar opposites for me. There's not many times where I'm brutally honest. I think it's time for Gibraltar to go. The crowd, it's not supported enough. There are other venues around Europe screaming for an event. I know that the Gibraltar government do throw money at this tournament. I know they want us to stay, but unfortunately, if it's going to stay, you need more people. And the venue isn't anywhere near what you get from Germany or potentially Copenhagen. Copenhagen, people are excited to go to somewhere new because we have different venues. We go to different cities, but this is a whole different ball game. I had a chat with Daniel Larsson from Sweden, and he said that Sweden's a long way off, and I understand that because they've got political stuff with BDO and PDC conflicts up there. Is there enough support in Sweden right now? No. Selling tickets in Denmark has been slower than it is in Germany, but you've got to start somewhere. You've got to feed your way into Scandinavia. Denmark is the right call. People are so excited by this event. Danish people have got to support this because if they want us to stay, they've got to come out and support it. They've got to do what Gibraltar hasn't done. If we don't move from Gibraltar, I'm going to be frustrated because there are other countries like Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic screaming for tournaments, and I see us going there in the next couple of seasons.
Right, from here, this is where it gets a little bit stupid. Now, if you were a player, you'd have to go to Hamburg for a European tour. Now, if you were lucky enough to be in the top, Vegas, early July. From Vegas a week later to Shanghai, then Shanghai to Blackpool. How would you fancy that?
Shanghai to Blackpool's a bit of a trip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's silly season.
It's very, very silly if you're in the World Series events, but you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you, that's for sure.
No, you're not.
You're going to try and take these opportunities and try and win. Great events. I love what they're doing in China. They're doing it small steps. Look at the way snooker is with China right now. If we can do half of that in the next 10 years, we'll be doing something right. America, again, it's small steps, just trying to get some sort of footing over there and get people interested in steel-tip darts. It just proves really hard with the next generation of players over there. There doesn't seem to be enough, but I'm sure if there are there, we'll find them. But they're going to get some air miles, aren't they?
Doesn't stop there. From Blackpool, one ends in late July. We go to Auckland, the beginning of August, to Melbourne, to Brisbane.
Yeah, Auckland, without a doubt, the best World Series event of the lot. I was at the first one with the Van Barneveld-Adrian Lewis final. It was spectacular. New Zealand's one of the best countries in the world. It's so relaxed. Brilliant support from the Kiwis. Going to Melbourne, I'm biased. That was my home city. Great place to play darts because that, for me, is the place to play darts in Australia. We will see more of Cadby, which is always exciting.
I was about to say, I'm looking forward to seeing Corey back on our screens.
Yeah.
Because the guy's box office, and for me, he will win a PDC major. I know that's controversial to say, but I think he's got the game to win a lot of them.
Yeah, there's no doubt in his ability. I think it's just time will tell. We've had other people who've had that amount of ability and that much belief, and ultimately they didn't go on to actually win majors. But with Corey, it just seems like there's something different there, a little bit of extra spice. But I'm also excited to go to Brisbane because I know that city holds a lot for Simon Whitlock because he's spent a lot of time living in Queensland, and I think he'll be very well supported in Brisbane. And I love the fact that they're moving it around in Australia, giving different markets a chance to go and see these events. People will travel in Australia, but they'd much rather do it on their doorstep.
And just to top it off, from there, the European Tour a week after Brisbane. Just to put one on the end.
And it's a mainstay as well. It's Hildesheim,
yep.
Not the biggest arena, but always well supported near Hanover. A brilliant arena. And I think it's important not just to go to different places on the European Tour and move things around to a certain degree, but you've got to have these mainstays like Sindelfingen and Hildesheim, places that had them at the beginning or near to the beginning that have always been well supported. I remember Elmar Polka getting on the stage and saying, we're not sure whether we're going to be back in Hildesheim. By the next day, PDC Europe had actually made sure that it was there next, because people had made their voice known. Hildesheim, from all the way around the world, that's going to be hard because there's going to be no break in between. If these guys who are doing all of these things are going to have any sort of success through this whole campaign, they're going to have to rest properly and manage the jet lag.
But apart from Gary Anderson, because he'll just wave as he's flying over Hildesheim back to the UK, because we all know he misses them.
Yeah, it's a shame that Gary doesn't do the European Tour. I mean, for me, you would win quite a few of them if he did them, but I totally respect what he's doing because he's got a family, he wants to spend time with his wife, and ultimately, he knows that he's not a spring chicken. He needs the rest. He needs to recharge the batteries, constructively if he's going to contend in majors, because between now and the end of his career, he will be judged on the amount of majors that he adds to his tally.
Before we go, I'm going to put you on the spot. One country or city for a European tour, and one country or city for a World Series that we don't already have. Where would you add them?
Prague for European Tour. Wink, wink. That is probably going to happen anyway. I'd like to go to Hungary, because I think Budapest is a great city, very easy to get to, very well support. Hungary and darts, put them two together, you've got something. A lot of the people from Austria in Graz were Hungarian.
Really?
So, there you go, PDC Europe, the challenge is yours. Hungary, next season. World Series event, Rio.
Nice.
Brazilian Masters, Diogo Portela is bringing darts from South America to the United Kingdom. He's doing a great job, and it's up to people in countries like Peru, Brazil, Argentina, all around that continent to support steel-tip darts. And if they can, there's no reason why we can't get a World Series event in South America in the next 3 or 4 years.
That's great, Paul. Well, always a pleasure to have you in. Thanks very much.
Thank you.